Hey, let's play with winches tonight. You know, those things you put on the front of your truck to help you get out of the mud when you're stuck. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Bellaterra. This a little bit of change of scenery from my old shop. This is the new shop and living quarters, barn dominium, I guess you could say, that we've been working on for the past year, actually. We've gone through two phases. Phase one was to get the roof in there, and phase two was to get it blacked in and some of the interior wall done on the living section. So we've been very busy getting this structure where it is that you see right now. But Bellaterra, Dios Bellaterra, actually stands for God's beautiful land. We're very blessed as to where the barn is situated in a very beautiful scenic area in east central Mississippi. I've been needing to do something, okay? This box, this winch, has been sitting in my shop for months now. I think I purchased it before Christmas. It's now March. Um, it came from Harbor Freight, okay? And I know that I cannot be the only human being walking the face of this planet that has walked through Harbor Freight and seen these 12,000-pound winches. And it was right on the edge of, I don't want to pay that much money for a winch that, I don't know if it's any good or not. Well, I got to doing some research. I've got a couple of buddies that are running them on off-road rigs, and they say they thoroughly enjoy them, and it's the only winch they will ever buy from this point forward. Now, we're not here to rate or review a winch or, any of that kind of stuff and debate what's a good winch or not. I walked in Harbor Freight, and they had one of those super coupon deals. You know what I mean? It was 40% off, and that put me over the hump and the edge of, okay, it might be worth it now. So instead of a little over $300, I paid just under $200 for this winch, and I just had to do it. I had to bite the bullet and do it. So as you can see, there's two worn 9,000-pound winches. One on my '73 Jeep CJ5, and the other one is on my farm truck, which is a 1998 GMC 3500. That might look just like a single cab, short wheelbase, dinky little old truck, but this truck is a hoss. But for a couple of years now, the winch has not been working. And I've tried it. I've tried to take it off. I know that there's faulty parts inside of it. I just hadn't dug into it to see what was wrong. And I had this idea. I thought about putting this Badland winch on this truck. But again, I'm not the only person who has ever wondered when they saw this winch, well, could I take my worn winch off and this bolt right in place? I don't know. I haven't done any research on it. Honestly, I haven't seen much research on it. So that's what this video is going to be about, is seeing if this Harbor Freight Badland winch will just bolt, plug, and play right in the place where that worn 9,000-pound winch is. Y'all, I'm a little bit of a heavy heart right now, and I have to admit, the reason I have this Jeep sitting here with this winch on the front, we're not going to be messing with this winch. It's fully functional, and it works. It used to belong to a good friend of mine, Alan Flint. Alan, super guy. I'm ashamed to say that 10 years ago, we moved away from West Point, Mississippi, and moved further south, about 130 miles. And I haven't kept up like I should over the last 10 years, and I hate it. But Alan was one of those friends that I knew that if I needed him, I could call him, and he would be right there. He would drop everything that he was doing and be right there on spot's notice. And I would reciprocate that same thing with him. And I've got quite a few friends like that in life. We might not talk for a while. But we just know, and we have that understanding that if you call, I will get in the truck and I will call my boss and tell him, hey, what happened was I got to go. I got to help a friend. So got quite a few friends like that. But y'all, on my 52nd birthday, March the 4th, just a few days ago, as I was celebrating my another year of life, my buddy Alan was taking his last breaths on this earth. He passed away March the 4th. Ironically, his birthday was March the 5th, the very next day, and he would have been 50 years old, but he never made it to his 50th birthday. He fought a strong battle with cancer, strong, strong battle. And y'all, we went to the funeral yesterday, and it was one of the sweetest, most wonderful, heartfelt funerals I have ever been to in my life. And the flood of people that came through there and spoke about him and the difference that he had made in their lives was absolutely amazing. Uh, he was a fireman by trade, and there were so many stories of the lives that he had saved and the people who he had helped and those he had mentored in the fire department there in West Point. Also, he was very involved in team roping. He was a cowboy. Okay, um, he was also an avid outdoorsman, and he was very involved in a handicap ministry and assisting and helping handicapped folks get to hunting again. And for many, it saved their lives. He also was a tremendous family man. And I should have said that first. I should have said that very one first because he did not let anything get above family. First of all, he didn't let anything get above his God. Okay. And below God was his family, and he knew that was his responsibility to take care of. And it was very interesting. All of those factions that I told you about that he was involved with. Oh, he also hauled portable buildings, and I'll tell you more about that in just a moment because I have to tell you my Allen story. Um, all of those people got up and talked about how what a difference he made in their work environment. And Allen was one of those that would probably be the first to tell you need to tighten up on your job, but he was also the first one to tell you you're doing a great job. So he was just a fine, fine individual to be around. The common theme of everybody that spoke was this: he wasn't a cowboy who happened to be a Christian. He was a Christian who happened to be a cowboy. He was a Christian who happened to be a firefighter. He was a Christian who happened to be a dad. He was a Christian who happened to be a friend. Above all, he put his faith in Christ first and foremost. And I just, my hat's off to him for that very thing. But I got to tell you my Allen story. It was also said by one of the firefighters that Allen was very skilled with a winch. Okay, and being in firefighting, you have to be. And think about it, pulling those portable buildings up, on trailers. You had to be very skilled with the winch. Well, it was also said during the funeral that he was a wheeler and dealer on the Craigslist, and I don't know, probably Facebook Marketplace lately. I have no idea. That was just what's said at the funeral. And he was a wheeler and dealer. He loved Dodge trucks, Cummins diesels, and I had a 2002 F350 with a Power Stroke 7.3 Power Stroke in it, and we were always back and forth about that. But he loved his Cummins, and I loved my Ford till it broke down in the middle of the road and shattered to pieces. The engine just fell apart in the road. But anyway, I'll give him that one. But I don't know. Alan and I had been talking about some stuff that we had bought, an old Jeep that I bought that happened to have an old winch on it, that the winch worked, and I had taken it off and setting it in the edge of my shop. And I, he was needing a winch the next day, okay? And he had this worn 9,000 winch. No, it was this winch right here. He had this worn 9,000 winch that didn't work, and I had a kind of a knockoff winch, kind of like this, that did work in my shop. And he said, "Hey, Rob, look, I need a winch tomorrow. Would you trade me That winch for this winch you have in your shop that's not working, he and I both knew that a worn winch had value to it. Okay, um, in value even with it being broken, because parts are readily available for those things. And but he was in a bind and needed a winch, and I would have given him that winch. I really honestly would have had, but he wanted to trade me something, so he traded me that winch, and that thing sat in the edge of my shop for 2 or 3 years. I never even looked at it, but since that time, this winch has been on, I think, 4 different Jeeps that I've had since we did that little trade many years ago, probably 15 years ago. But look, it's very sentimental to me. And I just want to say that that winch has helped a lot of people. And I'm going to affectionately name my winch Alan. So from this point forward, when that winch rope gets pulled, I'll think of him. I'll think of him every time, in particular when somebody's in a bind and I'm helping them pull out, because his life has taught me something, that we need to be intentional about the things that we do. When I say intentional, put God first, give him the glory. One of my favorite verses is Matthew 6:33, which says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all of these other things will be added unto you." Alan was that example. He was that example for many, many people, because he put God first. He was that person that you would call the salt of the earth. I mean, he just did what he did every day, but he spoke about his God, and he let folks know that Jesus loves them. And man, what a testimony it was. That church was packed. There was hundreds of people there, and standing room only around, with many, many people standing, because of the difference that he made in the short 49 years that he lived on this earth. So, this episode is in memory and in honor of Alan Flint, my friend. Hey, let me take you on a little tour, okay? And I apologize, the lighting is not real good. I've just got a couple of high bay lights strung up there for the construction purposes, and honestly, I don't even have electrical service in yet. I'm waiting on the power company to come in and run the wires into the outside box through the inside. And I've got another panel that's mounted in the living area over there. But anyway, just to pan around and show you the shop, going to be Jeep corner over there. That's a 16-foot wide opening, about 12 feet tall, so I can get whatever I need to in here to work on. This area is going to have a lift. I've got thicker concrete in this area to be able to support a car lift. And I've got a good ample 15 feet up there to be able to do that, so that shouldn't be any problem. Over there, just basically going to be a place for the toys to be stored. Jeep corner, Mustang, Central, who knows what's coming up next. This particular area is going to be a wet room. Probably put a wall up, be able to bring a car in here and wash it. There is a drain in the floor, even though you can't see it very well just yet. Sink, be able to string a deer up, clean vegetables in the summer, that sort of thing. So that's just a quick overview of the shop. Living area, yeah, that's where we'll be living over there. All right, let's get to taking this winch off. It's on a standard worn winch. And we're underneath the truck, by the way. That's where the fair lead comes out. There's just 4 bolts. And I'm going to mount the camera, take these bolts out, and let's see if it's just as easy as lifting this winch off after that. Boy, this concrete is hard, but it's clean. This is our first project on the new concrete. Isn't it great? Uh-oh. Rut row. I think that's been on there a while. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. It didn't want to come off. It must have been a man that put that on there. That was me, by the way. Okay. That was less of a man that put that one on. Sometimes you just got to grunt. Just Just get after it. Just grunt it out. I don't know that the grunt ever really helps, but you know, makes me feel better. Woo! Woo! Oh man, I don't have my air tools in my new shop yet. I guess I could have brought my DeWalt impact on the battery, but I just wasn't thinking that well. Not all that good. All right, that's 2 of the 4. All right, let's keep it going easy, fellers. Let's just keep it working. Keep on. Nobody. Uh-oh. That one. It's always going to be one. Have y'all ever noticed that? It's going to be one that's going to be difficult. And it appears that 3 of the 4 are coming out. Look at there. This one, doggone him. There's supposed to be little wedge blocks in the bottom of this that don't turn. And apparently, that little wedge block is turning. Doggone it. Let's see if I can see in here what's going on. You're not gonna believe this. Whoever put this winch on used a used a nut instead of that little wedge block, and it's turning. And I don't know how I'm gonna keep that nut from turning in there. Look how loose it is. But we've got that one. Well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna have to do. I'm going to have to get an extension cord and grind the head off that nut, that bolt. All right, stay tuned. Okay, y'all. Here are the first sparks ever in Bellaterra. Get ready. First sparks ever in the new shop. Okay. Christen the old shop in. Look at there. There it is. It's loose. Okay. Got to take some time to figure out where these cables are going before I can lift it out. Since I knew the winch wasn't working, I had basically taken the cables loose many years ago and just stuck them down in here, taped them up, got them out of the way. So I've just got to figure out how to feed these cables back through, because they're stuffed in there pretty good. How did I do that? Did I have the grill out? I don't know. I say. It's a I might have had the grill out of this thing when I put it in. I can't remember. But I don't want to take the grill back out. I would rather not do that. You know what? Let's unpack the new winch. If it comes with new cables, I'm going to do a little and make this a little bit easier work. Let's take this winch to the back of the truck and unpack it. My lovely dog Kip has been chewing on the box. You know, Kip he wants to help, and he helps a lot. And he likes to continue things after I leave. For example, I took the cornhole game about half a mile up the road, and hey, look at there. First thing, I sees it. And he delivered my cornhole bags about a half a mile up the road to my shop down below because he thought I needed those cornhole bags in the shop. Put them in my chair. He must have gone back and forth at least 8 times. There's the controller. Let's see. Zip tie for something. All the hardware, nuts and bolts. Instructions. If we get in the bind, we'll read those. There's a nice heavy-duty hook. Well, I gotta say, it's pretty. It's pretty. There's all kind of... Man, what is all this? Well, that answers the question. There's the positive. I guess that's the relay box that mounts on the top. That's where the controller goes in. And a very heavy duty fair lead. If heavy means anything, it's heavy. Okay. Yeah. Tell you what, this winch is extremely heavy. If that means there's any quality to it, then yeah, that's good. What just fell out? Okay, this is some kind of relay battery cutoff. Okay, I've never used one of those before. I guess it's just a disconnect. Man, there's pieces of it falling everywhere. Let's just put it right back in that hole. I'm gonna put all the pieces in that hole until we're ready for that. Oh, there's these little doors on here that... Okay. All right. Getting this winch out of the box. It's a little bit up in my teeth here. There it is. There it is. Oh man. Man, oh man. Let's see. It sits like this. So far, it looks like the Warn winch. It's got the mounting holes underneath. It's pretty. It's pretty. Let's just hope it's hardy in the long run. So, we answered my question about whether it came with cables. It does. I'm going to go do a little snip on those. Snipperoo, snipperoo. Snip, snip. That's a pretty heavy duty cable. I hate to snip it, but it's dry rotted. It hasn't been used in a long time. That's a very thick gauge cable. Wire, cable, whatever you call it. I don't know if I have something up here substantial enough to cut that, honestly. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. These dudes ought to get it. Good night. Let's give it one more. I'm doing a lot of grunting on this video. Have y'all noticed? There we go. There we go. I heard the old snip snip happen. Snip, snip. Kip's gonna get the snip snip soon. Hope you didn't hear me say that. Did you hear that, Kip? Got to get the old snip snip. Hope you don't know what that means. Ah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, third time's the charm. It's making me breathe heavy too. Good night. Yeah. There it went. Okay. Let's lift this beautiful old 9,000-pound worn winch out of there. Up. We're not throwing that away. Because just like Alan over there, he got fixed. So that one can be rebuilt. There's plenty of parts for those out there. All right, let's see if we can pull these through now. Come on. Yeah. There. Wedged up in there. You know, I told you this truck has all those coolers and everything on it. And it does. It's a lot of jumbalumba stuff up in this grill. Man. Okay, look, y'all don't want to hear me snort and all that kind of stuff. And breathe hard. Let me get these cables out. I'll be right back with you. Okay, here's the moment of truth. I've got both winches sitting side by side. And honestly, they look very, very similar. Let me run a tape out. Center to center, we're looking at 10 and 1/8 inches. Cross our fingers. 10 and 1/8 inches. Okay, all right, half the battle's won. 4.5. 4.5. So this winch is indeed meant to bolt in place of a worn winch. And honestly, it looks the same thickness too. Maybe a little thicker, a little different shape up here. Let's go set it in the carriage and see if it sits right down in there. Oh, she'll be coming around the corner when she comes. She'll be coming around the corner when she comes. Okay. Got a little, the cable is hitting right here. It's zip tied on the frame. And I am afraid that's what's keeping us from lining up right there. Yeah, let's stick that back in there. There we go. I can stick it back. Cross your fingers, y'all. Cross your fingers. Oh, let me get under here and see how well those holes are lining up. Got to come to you a little bit. Boy, it'd be nice if you were here. I wish you were here to help me push that over just a little. Thank you. Okay. I think I'm beginning to see a hole. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. I think the holes are lining up, y'all. Let me get a line-up tool out of my box. You know what a line-up tool is, right? That'd be a Phillips screwdriver. Isn't that what you use a Phillips screwdriver for? It's a great line-up tool. If you've never used it for that before. Oh. They are lined up perfectly. Perfectly. Yes. Okay. Okay. I think that answers the big question for the night. It looks like this Badland winch will sit right down where a Warren winch was. I got something I want to check. I'll be right back. It almost looked to me like the hardware used a different size bolt. I may have to drill the holes out a little bit in my frame. No, they go right in. Just to prove to you that they're lined up, let me stick one on this other side over here in the back corner. And, okay, where's my line-up tool? Gotta get my line-up tool in there. Okay, there it is. There it is. So the bolts are all the way through the mount into the winch, ready to be bolted down. You know, it's about 11 o'clock at night, and it's feeling awfully good laying here on the floor. I think I could just go to sleep. It's been a long day. Worked on my bulldozer this morning. And, you know, you have to work on a bulldozer for about 5 hours just to get 3 hours of work out of it, especially when you have one that's a 1983 model. I love it, but it's one of those love-hate relationships. I can't just throw this winch in there. When I pulled the other one out, there's a lot of rust in the bottom. I really want to, in the daylight tomorrow, pressure wash all of this and throw a coat of paint on it. So I tell you what, let's pause tonight, okay? And let me pressure wash this during the day tomorrow, and tomorrow night we'll finish up. How does that sound? And we'll see that Warren winch, I'm sorry, Badland winch work again. Good night. I don't know if I can get up. This concrete actually feels really nice and cool, but I know my back will hurt in the morning. Y'all, I've got to show you one exhausted blue heeler. Have you ever seen one so tired? I mean, his eyelids are rolling back in his head. You know how they cover up. I think I could do whatever I wanted to this dog right now. He's run 20 miles today and used up every bit of the energy that a blue heeler has built up in this package, because that package has a whole lot of energy. Isn't that right, old Bubs? Isn't that right? We need to go to bed so we can reset for another great day tomorrow, correct? Man, I tell you what. Well, this guy had a little time today to put a spray rattle can rebuild on the bumper. Doesn't that look a whole lot better? What do you think, Kip? Yeah, looks better. when I say I had a few minutes, I didn't have many minutes. Let me show you what else I've been working on today. Been working on the old Bellaterra. Goodness, y'all. I have already put in 8 hours on this porch today, and my brain is about fried. Oh, man. Been staining 10 by 10 cypress posts. And goodness gracious, that's a lot of surface area to stain. I've sanded it all first. Did that yesterday or the day before. So hand sanded every bit of that. And today, Lori actually helped me this morning, but this afternoon, I've been doing it all myself, and it's getting lonely. But man, isn't that cypress beautiful? I mean, it is just, it's really, really popping with that, I think it's called Red Canyon, Canyon Brown. So it has a little red tint to it. So when I get this one done, I've got to hop around here and grab these 2 posts. But there's also a porch on this side that I've got to sand and do the same thing. But thank goodness, these are only 8 by 8 posts and there's not as much. So this will be a walk in the park compared to that porch over there. Okay, as soon as the sun goes down, we're gonna get back on the winch project. Welcome back to night 2 of installing the Badlands winch. It is about 10:30 at night, and this is the first opportunity that I've had to get back on this little project, and I don't know how long it's going to last tonight, y'all. Guy's tired. Spent 10 hours today going up and down a ladder, staining 10 by 10 posts out there, and I'm tired. Kip's tired, but I'm motivated to try to get as far on this project as I can. I'm reminded of why I like this truck so much. It's got a great workbench. It's the perfect height. You can just spread stuff out. And I love this old flatbed on this truck. Great for working on the farm when something breaks down and you got to have something to hammer on or a workbench. It can't get any better. The only way it could get better is if I mount a vise here on the corner. I'm thinking about doing that pretty soon to hold chainsaw bars and stuff like that while I sharpen chainsaws. So anyway, by looking at this, and I did crack the directions open just to see if my thinking was right. I think I need to go ahead and mount this control box on the top and going ahead and wire up the cables, wires to the motor, because it's going to be hard to get back in under there when it's mounted. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything wired, mounted, everything dangling where I can set it in and mount it up underneath. Give me a few minutes to put all this together and we'll stick her on. I just had to tell you this. Do you remember earlier in the video that I told you that Kip likes to continue things after I'm gone? Last night, the very last thing I did was put this bag of hardware and bolts in the top of that box right there. I put everything together, and he saw that. And that was the very last thing I put in that box. And I found, this project almost stopped tonight because I couldn't find this bag. I found this bag way up there in the front of the house in what's going to be my bedroom in the future. That dog had just picked it up and thought I needed to have it in that room over there. Kip, come here. Come here. Come here. Get up here. Get up here. Come on. Come on. Sit down. Sit. Sit down. Sit down for everybody. Sit. 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 No. No. No, 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 no. Yeah, I just got a dog that wants to work. He just wants a job. That's all he wants. He wants assignments. I've never had somebody by my side that just wanted to work, and that's what this dog does. No, do not touch this anymore. You understand? He knows he's done wrong. He knows it, but he's just trying to do a job. How can I be mad? If I hadn't found that bag, though, you know what? I'd have been really mad. Okay, let me get back to work. Oh, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. I think last night I sung that song wrong. I think I said corner. Oh man, it didn't get any lighter when I put all that stuff on there. You remember those little wedge blocks I was telling you about on that other winch? This one has them. I already stuck them in before I set it down. You know what? I may need to mount the roller fair lead before I tighten the winch down. I might have a little limited space to get my fingers in there in the future. Let me look at that real quick. Oh, speaking of heavy, the other day I picked up a book on gravity. You know I couldn't put that thing down. I'm sorry, that was a bad dad joke. Well, the only little hiccup I have had thus far is that the bolts to mount that roller fair lead were a little bit too big for the holes. So I just watered it out a little bit with my drill bit. It's good now. It is good. So I'm going to mount my head of my bolt on the inside and put the nut on the outside because I'm a little bit more tight for room inside with the winch where it's going to mount. So I just want to make sure that I don't run into a problem there. Lock washer does not want to let me get my nut started. It's just acting a fool. Acting a donkey fool. Isn't that something? Well, my bolt's not long enough for both a flat washer and a lock washer. So I'm just going to put a lock washer on it. It's going against a flat surface. It shouldn't be a problem. Man, this is just one of those instances when you just about have to have a third hand. You know what I mean? I just want to get a nut started. That's all I want. Just get it started. Come on. Everybody just needs to cooperate. There. It is started. Okay. Where did my hot washer run off to? There it goes. This one's going to be even trickier. Not so much. No heel for a stepper. Right? Okay. Now, I think I'm going to need another wrench. Yep, I can't get a socket on that because this roller is in the way. Excuse me just a moment. Nice. Just slip that right down in there. Well, maybe it's not an 18. Maybe it's a 3/4. Isn't that something? The nut is metric sized, but the head of the bolt head is English. What kind of sense does that make? None. None whatsoever. But, again, ain't no hill for a stepper. Yeah. Let's put it to 120 foot-pounds of torque. That's it. You got to hear it snap 3 times. That way you know that joker's torqued to 120 foot-pounds. Actually, 123 foot-pounds. Okay. Ooh, that one's 127 foot-pounds. Okay. Next thing I need to do is get my trusty little line-up tool. Remember, Phillips head screwdriver. Line up the holes, and let's get some bolts in them. Well, y'all, it was relatively easy lining those bolt holes up. They were pretty much already ready to go. Yeah, they're pretty close. Pretty doggone close. Let's see if this one will ease up in there. There it goes. And it has caught the little wedge block in there, it feels like. Let's give it a little tug with the wrench. Yep. Certainly don't want to tighten it up until we get all of them in. Hey, what did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K? HDMI? Do you get it? HDMI? I'm sorry. That was a terrible joke as well. Okay, last one. Is it gonna go? Is it? I think it has. It's tight, but I think it has caught the block. Hey, I think we have a winch mounted. Did you hear that? It sounds like a torque wrench clicking, but it's not. It's not a torque wrench. I'm just putting the country boy torque on it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Go back and check them all again. Yep. Okay. We have a mounted winch. How does that sound? Well, I went on ahead and ran my ground and positive cable through a hole in the radiator core support where what lines is it? It's where the AC lines come through to the condenser. So I'm going to straighten these up a little more, zip tie them up, make them look prettier, but I'm not going to bore you with all that. I have hooked my negative to the negative side of the battery, the hot to the positive. And I am going to put that little disconnect in there later because I am worried about parasitic draw on this truck. It does when it sits for a while, and I don't use it enough. Anytime I need to go to town to get fuel is the most that it gets run. Parasitic draw. I have to keep a battery maintainer on it to keep the battery up. And I don't want that to happen through the winch. And I don't know if it will or not, but maybe that's the reason for that quick disconnect. I don't know. So everything is active. Um, I've got a clamp here. I need to put on the cable. But the cable is actually zip tied up tight. And I'm going to cut this zip tie. And I figure when I do that, it might be getting some loose tension on the cable itself. Come on. Okay. Okay, I think the cable, I sandwiched it in when I tightened the winch down. I hope that I can push that out with a screwdriver or something. Let's see here. I think it's loose, but I need to get that cable through this fair lead right here. And how am I going to get that through there? Where are those needle nose pliers? I see it. It's close. It's close. Maybe if I put it in free spool, that would help me a little bit. Hey, there it comes. There's the cable. Let's go on ahead and put this on there. You got this and a shaft to put it in there, a little key, a cotter pin or whatever you call it. Holds that in place. We're fixing to test this thing. See if it works. You and I are going to witness that for the first time together. I love doing stuff together. Together is good. Come on. You be still. Okay. Okay. So, let's put the controller in the hole. And I'll be honest with y'all. This controller feels a little cheap. But if it works, it works. Okay, we're hooked up. Let me engage. And let's go out. Hey, it made noise. Well, y'all, it's working. It's working. We put it on free spool. How free does it spool? Oh, yeah. That's nice. Let's put it back. All right, keep a little tension on it. Pull it in. It's gonna pull me in there. I see nothing wrong. Y'all, we have a winch. And I got a hole right here that this goes in. And we can pull that thing tight. Keep good tension on our cable. Okay. What else is there to do? Nothing. Let me get you off the tripod over there. You've been still for too long. And let me give you another glance and look at this. And man, it just really turned out well. Well, I must say, it has really improve the looks of the farm truck. Badland. Man, yeah. I do have some bad land around here. Some bad land that'll get a truck stuck in. But now I can go into it with confidence, right? Anyway, all in all, we answered our question. Will the Harbor Freight Badland winch bolt in the same place as a Warn 9000? Absolutely it will. And have a little room to spare there. That just really looks nice, y'all. Yes, yes it does. Okay, I'm happy with this project. The working winch is late at night. I'm ready to go to bed. I'll straighten up those wires a little bit better for the farm truck. You know, we got to get it farm truck approved. But let me end this video by bringing you back over here and showing you Alan. Buddy, we miss you. Alan, I'll always remember this winch, okay? When that rope gets pulled, it will be to help someone, and I'll do it in the spirit that you have shown and demonstrated to so many. Well, thank you for watching this episode of A Holy Rust Revival. Sorry about the lighting. It's only going to get better, y'all. The shop is going to get better. We'll probably do stuff in here as we progress, and you'll be able to see that happening in the shop as well. So, all right. Hey, may God bless you. Go forth, do great things, and help someone, and tell them about the love of Jesus, because this world needs to know that. All right. May God bless y'all.